Welcome back to the Social Psycho Podcast, where we took a look at things affecting the Black community from a sociological and psychological point of view. I'm Boonie, and today I'm here with Endya, Royal, Vanjalyn, and Lola. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Good.
So today we're going to talk about escapism. And escapism is the tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. So basically, things that you do to escape your life, whether it's horrible or just boring. Sometimes it just be boring. But we're going to jump right into the topics with the first segment, What's Your Theory segment. How do you feel about escapism in general? Roy, you can go first.
I feel like it's a real thing. Definitely. I feel like I've definitely done this a lot of times, and a lot of times it was because my life sucked.
Right.
I've had to do it in several different environments, whether I was homeless or in a bad situation, bad marriage, bad relationship. So either it was going to a job or, you know, talking to somebody that would just get my mind off of it, like yeah, I was out of there a lot of time.
Understandable. What about you, Endya?
Sorry, I had to unmute. But I feel like we tend to look at escapism as like a negative thing, but I feel like it's something you kind of have to do to get along. So it's you should do it in a healthy way. There are healthy and unhealthy ways. Um, but I feel like in order to like really enjoy life, that's just the thing.
Right. I agree. What about you, Van?
Pretty much the same thing India said. Like there are healthy and unhealthy ways to go about it, but as long as you're doing it in a healthy way, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's the way I see it is like kind of how like with a child with their imagination. As long as they don't go too far, they're having fun. Ain't nobody being hurt. They know the difference between reality and not. Then it's fine.
What about you, Shaniqua? I mean, Lola, sorry. You need to
Yeah.
change your name.
No, it's Lola. No,
You
honestly,
need to change it.
my name is Lola certain times, like specific times. Like when I get in my bad bitch energy, then it's Lola.
On the screen it says Shaniqua. That's what she.
Yeah.
I
So
just now
she could say
changed it.
Shaniqua. But I pretty much feel the same way as other people. People can escape in positive or negative ways, but I think it's more so majority of individuals escape negatively.
Yeah, that tends to happen. Like I feel like escape, like Endya said, like when it comes to escapism in general, I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing. And that also goes into the next question that I asked. But we can kind of dive deeper into why we feel like that. But for me in general, I feel like it depends on the situations and the things that are happening. Like I feel like sometimes it's necessary to get through certain situations when you're in tough situations and there's really nothing else you can do about it. I feel like it's necessary. But it depends on, like, are you using it to avoid fixing things, like working on things that you need to work on, or are you using it to just get away for a while, like give yourself a time. Y'all know how I am. Give yourself time to escape and then deal with your issue. I don't think it's nothing wrong with it if it's like that, but if you're using it to avoid certain things that you need to focus on, or you need to pay attention to, or you need to make a decision or whatever, then you might need to, like, like I said, give yourself a certain amount of time and then deal with it and then deal with your stuff. But in general, I don't think that it's a terrible thing. But let's go to the next segment, the hear me out segment, with the next question, which is what I said earlier. Do you believe escapism is good or bad? Why or why not?
It can be bad, just going off of personal experience. Like, this is a safe space. I feel like I can say it. I was once a very big pothead. Wasn't ashamed of it. Went everywhere, anywhere, smelling like straight up skunk. Did not care. But I was avoiding a lot of things. I was avoiding dealing with feelings about a lot of things, stressors. Like, it would always be like, oh, wake and bake. Oh, I'm about to go eat. Let me smoke. Oh, I'm about to go to class. Let me smoke. I'm about to go to work. Let me. So it's like you're not dealing with anybody or anything sober. Like, you're gonna have to do that at some point in your life. So,
Right.
yeah, I feel like it's okay to use drugs occasionally, if you really feel like you need that. But there's a such thing as going overboard and going too heavy, because like heroin, crack, that's something I'm never gonna try, never. But
Yeah.
do, do you?
Lola, was you ready to talk?
What was the question? Endya took me. I mean,
Do you believe escapism is good or bad? Why or why not?
I don't think it's good because I just feel as though you're not dealing with what's going on at hand. Like, it's gonna come up again.
Got you. What about you, Royal?
I feel like it's the same thing that they said. It's good and bad. I've experienced the same thing that India said. Like I was a big pothead too. Like I reminded that TikTok I recently saw. It said, "Did I eat yet? No. Well, so what I'm about to go do? Go smoke." I would literally, that was my day. Like I would wake up. I need to smoke. I just ate something. I need to smoke again. I'm about to go to sleep. Let me smoke on my. So I think it's bad when you're using it just to cope with the day. Like, and just that's not the only thing that is bad. Like if you're using, not just using drugs, if you're tuning out to life, period, if you're not present in the moment, like that's it's bad. So, but it's good because it is a coping mechanism, dealing with bad situations.
Right. What about you, Van?
Like I said before, it's good ways to do, bad ways to go about it. Like if you're like they said earlier, excuse me, y'all, I'm driving. But like he said it earlier, if you're doing it to not deal with stuff in your everyday life, or you're not coping with, like, you're using it as a cope mechanism instead of just a little getaway, just a little mental vacation or something, then yeah, that could be bad, which I know I've done, but mine has been with like reading. Like, normal people love to read just to, wind down, go on mental adventures. Like for me, it's a legit getaway from reality. I like to read because I can get an emotional high. I can get a mental and emotional high from reading, and I love it. I'll read on webtoons, I'll read books, I read stories, novels. I read anything, especially anime related, because I'll be high off of the feelings that I get from those stories and just let it carry me throughout the day. Like I'll be reading in between calls at work, and it helps me to be better on the next call. Like if I'm super excited or giddy, from what I just read, I'll be like super friendly on the call and stuff like that. But that's how I escape, because I actually get high, like mental and emotional highs from that, and I it helps me get away from the real world for a while. I'll spend weeks being in a delusion state, thinking about the story, like what's gonna happen next, or oh my god, I can't believe they did that. Like as if this is something that happened in real life. Like I will legit
Yeah.
do that. I will go and be completely delusional for a couple of weeks based off of what I just read.
Basically, it's the same as Van. Like, I don't think that drugs and alcohol and stuff like that is the only like dangerous form, but like how Van was describing or whatever, because I'm the same way, and I've done that since I was a kid. Like, I would totally check out of reality and just go in my head and create these stories and stuff like that with people that do not exist. I literally will catch feelings for people who do not exist. It sounds crazy, but I'll literally be in an imaginary relationship with somebody that I've never met before, I've never seen. I could not describe them to you or whatever, because it just makes me feel good. Because reality to me has always sucked. Like I was telling y'all earlier, like to me, human beings are just so boring. Like we just do the same things over and over again and never learn lessons and all of this stuff that we just be putting ourselves through on a daily basis. Um, no matter how many times we have learned that it don't work like this or whatever, you know. So I feel like it'd be boring to me, and I just go in my head. Like I always did that as a kid. Like I'll be there, I'll be enjoying a moment with a person sometimes, and I don't even be there. Like they be in the mall. I can't even tell you. Like I remember, matter of fact, last year we went on vacation and we took my nieces and nephews for the first time. This first time we going on vacation with kids. And they were so like ungrateful. And it annoyed me so much that I literally do not remember what happened because I was dissociating so bad. I just wasn't there. Like I was just in my head, I'm having a different experience because it's like, bro, when we was this young, we was this age, if we could have go to Disney World when we were like 8, we would have been happy. Like my mama could have took us to McDonald's and be like, y'all can play in the park. We would have been happy. Like they literally complaining about seeing lions and stuff. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
Is
And
there
then
is there a difference between dissociating and escapism?
escapism, I don't know. To tell you the truth, it's a little similar, I guess. I don't know.
I think dissociation is a type of escape,
Yeah,
I could say.
yeah. Because I do it a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I could be in a moment or whatever or something, or even just think about something that happened that traumatized me, and then I'll immediately let me escape that. Let me do that. But like Van said, reading is one of the ways that I do that.
I just looked at the definition.
Go ahead.
So
What is it?
they said dissociation is an extreme form of escapism.
Yeah, I definitely, and I feel like I do have extreme forms of escapism. That's why I said I feel like it's just as dangerous as alcohol and drugs because, and I've done it my whole life, just so I won't remember stuff like things that have happened that I try not to remember. So I'll dissociate, create another reality. And because I really sometimes be rejecting what's really happening. I'm not gonna lie, I do. But yeah, like Van was saying, reading, stuff like that, I'll do that to escape. I'll just go in my head, make things up. Like I said, be in love with people that I've never met. Like I create a person that I'm in a relationship with. Or it could be like, so it could be like a celebrity or something, and I'll create a whole reality with them in it. And I'll be telling myself like, you wouldn't even like this person in real life. Like if you met them, you probably wouldn't even like them in real life. But you done created this whole thing where like you in love. And I really be feeling that. Like she said, I get high off of the emotions and stuff that I feel and stuff like that. It makes me happy. So I feel like it can be good and bad and not necessarily just for people who use drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, I feel like dissociating it can be a bad way to escape things and not deal with your problems or whatever. But a lot of the times I don't even really be having problems. I just don't be happy like with what's going on around me. And I just escape basically. But to move on to the next segment, let's fix it. What is a form of escapism you think has been dangerously used and needs to stop?
The internet. Should it stop?
That's
No, but
that's a
the
good
way
one.
people using the internet, they get on there. And it's one thing, like, I enjoy seeing people be like vulnerable, be them true selves, just trying to find their tribe, trying to find, their people on the internet by being themselves, showing their personalities and stuff online. I do enjoy that. But there are people who will go and create a whole new persona just for the sake of, the internet or popularity, knowing that they're not like that in person at all. And I feel like that's a form of escapism, just, having that persona online. And then when you're around locals or in real life, you are absolutely nothing like that. And it's like you can't even live up to the person that you created online.
That's a good one because I feel like people do it all the time. And everybody, and even just like, even if you're not like, if you didn't create a persona, but like you're being the good parts of yourself online, or like you're showing the good parts of you. People only see that, so people think that this is you. And honestly, even just when you like people who gain popularity being online or whatever, being this personality, and people expect them to be how they are online. Like if you went viral for doing a dance, every time somebody see you, they want you to do that dance. You went viral for singing, rapping, whatever, being a comedian. Like the way that people treat you because of the stuff that you do online, to me too goes into that. Like they see you and they see you as just that entertainment. Like, ooh, say something funny. Say something funny to me right now. And it's like, bro, I'm a person. Like I'm a real person. I'm
And
not
also the
always
fact that
funny.
My bad. And also the fact that we use the internet to escape. Like we use it to
Yeah,
escape everything.
that's true.
Yeah.
I know
And I
like
think
hell I do. I use it to escape social interactions.
Me too.
Definitely.
Me too.
And I think the interface is what contributed to that. Because you remember how like MySpace was set up where you had to go to different places to find out stuff. And now it's like you have this, what do they call it? Doom scrolling, where it's like you're constantly seeing stuff. You just keep scrolling. You don't
Mm-hmm.
even know how long looking at other people doing whatever. You could have done something else, you know?
Right. That's true. They do make it easy, and everybody is like stuck on aesthetics. Like you curate your timeline to look a certain type of way, and you just want to see that. Like I will always say, like when it comes to my happy place is the cosplay community. That's all I want to see when I'm online. I want to just see people dressing up, anime stuff, whatever, because it makes me happy. And when I don't see that, I'm like, I didn't want to see this. Like it could be something important. I'm scrolling right past it. I don't want to see this. I want to see people in costumes and stuff because it makes me happy. But that's a good
No,
one.
I
And
get
that's
that.
another part. Like I do the same thing. When it's something serious that comes up,
Yep.
I will listen sometimes, but
Sometimes.
then like I don't see there if there's I don't see any shame in not wanting to partake or
Right.
to listen and stuff like that because it's a lot. Like we're especially as Black people, we're already going through a lot as it is on a daily basis. Some people don't want to listen to that at the moment. We don't want to look at that right now. Like we know it's a lot of shit going on at the moment. Like we
Right.
just want to escape for a bit. Just look at something funny. Look at something
Right.
pleasing to the eye. Like it can be sad because that is important stuff that does need to be shared, does need to be spread, does need to be heard. But sometimes we just don't want to listen to that right now. Like We
And
just don't.
if I'm being all the way honest, like when it comes to sickle cell too, like I advocate for sickle cell or whatever. Like I do my videos, I talk about it because I have to. Like we like literally are the only group of people with a disease that we always have to advocate for ourselves, and it's not fun. So when I go on the internet, I'm not going to the sickle cell community to hear people talk about the things that they've gone through. After I done scroll through 3 videos of somebody crying or somebody talking about what happened to them, I just can't. And I'm like, okay, time for me to go somewhere else. Like I definitely don't take in as much information as I put out when it comes to that because it just is depressing to me. So that's another thing that I try to escape. But I feel like pushing myself to be an advocate, even though because a few years ago you couldn't get me to talk about it publicly. You couldn't get me to talk about none of the things that I've gone through or whatever because I just didn't. It just always made me sad. I don't like it. So I had to push myself to do that because, bro, you got a disease. Like, you can't ignore this. This is stuff that's really happening. You can't ignore it. You literally can't. So, like, you got to do something. So I push myself to create that platform so I can, do my part in the community. But I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I don't want to see it. I don't. It makes me depressed, so I escape it a lot of the times.
I think I have a what may be considered a weird kind of escapism because it's like my go-to for music is R&B and soul music, and my go-to for movies is drama filled. And I didn't realize that I was like constantly doing that, right? Until I was talking to my therapist about it one day, and I had this realization that it's kind of like because my reality isn't emotionally effective, it's like I try to draw that from music and movies. So I'm always listening to depressing things. I'm always watching depressing things. And it's like it actually makes me feel good because it's like, oh, I can finally feel things. So it's like I don't know, my escape isn't a happy place, but it's like it's I don't know, it makes me feel good still, even though it's not a happy place.
Hmm. I don't think
It's like
I
it
don't think
forces
it's
those feelings out that you can't put
yeah.
out naturally.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's necessarily like terrible. It's
It's
not a
not,
terrible
it's
thing.
just like I noticed that I always did that. Like I'm always listening to these things that I guess I wish I had or I wish I could do. And that's not healthy because it's like I should be able to do that in reality. I should be able to tell
Right.
people around me how I'm feeling about things or express my opinion about something without feeling like somebody's going to judge me for it.
Right. That's understandable though. What about you, Royal?
So Van said probably the best one, which was the internet. So I don't want to be redundant. So another thing in today's society that is bad is like the use of drugs, especially like pills. Like I've literally seen people use these to escape, and I'm like, why do you do this to
And
yourself?
people are dying, like
Yeah,
alarmingly, like at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
I know the story time segment might be coming up, but I want to share something. What I saw somebody take a pill. It was a perk, and I didn't know the side effects of it. I saw them nodding out. It was bad. Couldn't speak correctly, and then like he was just whole hype the next day when I saw him. Like, yeah, I can't wait to do that again. Like, why would you want to do that to yourself? That doesn't seem fun. You were not coherent. What do you remember about yesterday? Nothing.
Right. It's literally like because I have to take pain medicine for my illness, and I hate it. But it's literally like when you take it. That's why I don't understand why people like it either. It's literally like you're just there, like you're stuck, and like nothing really is happening. Nothing is going in. Nothing is coming out. You just stuck, and you have that like calming feeling over your body or whatever. And like I don't really get what's fun about it. I don't get what's exciting
Exactly.
about it because I hate it. Like I hate feeling like that. Like I can't think. I can't think like how I usually am. I'll be off my game sometimes. I can't pronounce sometimes words. I can't. Yeah, y'all know how I have real bad cotton mouth. I really hate that because it be making me feel like I'm having a stroke. Like my mouth, it just starts getting stuck together because that's a symptom of taking pain medicine. And whenever I see it, I'm just like, what? Like, how did we get here? How we get to this
It's
point?
it's a literal form of them escaping where they are, like especially depending on how your mind works. When you're constantly thinking, you're constantly depressed, you're
Yeah,
constantly on, on go mentally, emotionally, and there's nothing you can do about it. The best way to cope is to feel nothing. You don't remember nothing,
at
you
all.
don't
It's
feel
Exactly.
nothing.
nothing, and then especially if it makes your body more relaxed, you really don't feel that stress that has been put on your body on a
Yeah,
daily basis. You feel nothing, and for some people that is like the greatest feeling ever.
it scares me.
The
It
most
scares
dangerous
me.
part of that, other than killing yourself, is you don't even, once the drugs are gone, you run out of drugs, you do not know how to cope with life at all.
Right.
You don't have any other coping skills built up. So any difficult situation happens, anything, you don't know how to have a conversation. So people get violent. They,
It
fight
it
instead of
it
talking,
really just keeps things in too because whenever I am off my medicine and I go through withdrawal, I be crying for no reason. Like I'm not sad or nothing, but tears just be coming out, and I'm like, why am I crying? Why these tears coming out? I can't control it. It's like you're after you get out of it, the stuff comes at you hard and fast, and I think that's why people use it so much because it's like when you own it, you don't feel nothing. When you're not on it, it's like the things just come at you hard, and it's a lot
yeah.
to deal with. And it doesn't help that it's in music. That's all they talk about, popping pills and stuff like that. And they make it seem cool, but it's not. Like people you literally out in public and you're high and like you aren't able to function for real. Like your body is shut down and you're around people that you don't even know if you can trust these people for real. Like
I hate that
you
it's in
constantly
music
putting
so much
yourself in
like that.
danger. Me too.
Because I've heard, I don't even remember who it was, but I heard a few artists that do talk about stuff like that say they don't even do it.
Yeah,
It's just their music. They don't even do that stuff.
yeah. I know. I remember Lil Baby, I think, talking to 50 Cent about how he kind of like got is the reason why he drank and smokes whatever. And 50 was like, I don't drink and smoke. I've never done that in my life. And he like, I literally started doing this because of you. Like I listened to your music like that in the club song or whatever. I'm like, and it's some people who listen to it and they want to live that life.
There would literally was a 50 song where he said, I get high all the time. I smoke that.
And he
Was not
don't.
doing nothing like that at
Nigga
all.
is the healthiest person that you will probably ever see in life. It's crazy. That's why they be telling these rappers like y'all really living what y'all talking. And I feel like they don't take responsibility for the part that they play in that. Like they were doing this stuff because y'all were talking about it. Even if y'all weren't living it, it don't matter. You was talking about it. You influenced people to do it. And now it's like y'all doing things the wrong way. Like y'all really doing this stuff. They thought y'all were really doing that stuff. That's why. It don't just didn't come out of nowhere. Y'all made it cool. And I was like, the young rappers, they do too much. Y'all did too. But it's sad. I feel like a form of escapism that we probably don't even notice, love. I feel like
Mm,
love is one of those things that people be addicted to it. They're addicted. They want to have those feelings that they associate with love and being in love and being with somebody or whatever. So they get in toxic relationship after toxic relationship because most of the time people think certain things are love. Like they think that the arguing, the fighting, stuff like that is love because of how it makes them feel. Like they're constantly on a high. Their adrenaline is always pumping. Those chemicals are being released, so it makes them feel a certain type of way. So they feel like that's love. And I feel like people use love as escapism rather than dealing with the stuff with you and dealing with a lot of the stuff. It's I gotta get in a relationship with somebody. I can't be by myself. I want to be with somebody. I want to be with somebody. Even though you know sometimes those people aren't good for you or you know it's not healthy. And I think that's something that you say it, people be like, how? Because love is seen as a good thing, and it is. But I feel like the things that we associate with it are the things that are unhealthy. And it doesn't necessarily mean love, or it's not necessarily love, but because we've seen these examples in the media and TV, everything in music, all of the stuff that we consume, that's what we think it is. And I feel like people become addicted to it. Let's move on to the let's fix it. Oh no, this is the story time segment. Do any of you have a story of a time escapism ruined your life or ruined your relationship or whatever, ruined something for you?
I don't know about ruin, but I think it may have skewed my view on what certain parts of life are supposed to be, because I got so for years upon years and got so caught up in all these stories of how I like things to go, like how people treat each other in these stories, how the situations go, things like that. It may have skewed my vision on reality, like real relationships, whether it be friendships or intimate relationships. I think it may have done that, but has it ruined anything? No. Has it given me a different view and probably messed it up with reality? Yes.
That's actually that's important because I feel like it influences a lot of us to think like that. Like, the things that we, like I was saying, things that we consume, like the movies, the romance movies that we've watched, Love Jones, stuff like that. We see how things are done on there and we expect that. But a lot of the times when we get in relationships with people, it be so underwhelming. And it's like, I thought it was going to be, fireworks. I was going to feel like this. And I don't like that. I'm not getting this feeling or whatever.
Yep. Or you're constantly reading how situations are supposed to go or how they go in the story, and then you're somewhat expecting it to go similarly to that in real life. And then it's like you're thrown for a loop when it doesn't go that way.
Right. It's like I don't like this
Or
because I feel like I get bored with people, and not necessarily because I expect things to go a certain type of way, but it's like whenever I get into a relationship with somebody, and let's say, you know, how people, the representative that people show you at first. And like when you're in the early days or whatever, it's cool you getting to know that person and stuff like that. But let's say that in the midst of that, they kind of like stop. Like you don't know no more than what they've let you see. And you try to get to know them more, but they have like this wall and it's like blocking you. And to me, it gets boring to me when it's like that, because it's like, if this is as far as you're going to let me into your life, what's the point of this? And I get bored because I feel like people only let you see a certain amount of them. They don't give you everything. It's like you get this, and then you got to do X, Y, and Z before I can give you anything else or whatever. And that makes it boring to me because it's like, dang, I really like you, but like you're not gonna let me really see who you are. So like, now what? Now what do we do?
Exactly.
Like you kind of stuck. I don't like being stuck.
Um, for me, I'm similar to Van as far as like it skewed my reality. So the story I'm gonna tell is from when I was younger, but I've had this happen like multiple times. My reality was so skewed. I was in a bad situation at home, and I was very into Dragon Ball at the time. So I was being bullied in the neighborhood, and the bully wanted to fight me, and so I was about to fight, but I figured the best thing for me to say was, "Don't judge me, guys. Let me go train for 6 months, and we will fight.
Let's take a rain check on that.
Let me go train for 6 months, and I'll get back to you, buddy." I was just like,
Bro, I thought you was
I was
about to say you coming.
nah. But I was dead serious too. I was like, let me. And then the bully showed up to my house and knocked on the door and socked me right in the nose.
He gave you 6 months, or he came right
No, he
after that?
came like a couple like days later and knocked on my door, and I couldn't see who it was, and I just so happened to answer the door, and yeah.
That's kind of funny, bro. Yo, y'all ain't jumped the bully.
I didn't
Y'all was
have no
supposed to
friends.
jump them. Y'all was
I didn't
supposed
have
to jump
I didn't
him.
have friends like that.
That was funny though. I swear I thought you was about to say
I thought he was gonna say he did some type of anime move,
me
something like
too.
that, but I wasn't expecting it. I mean,
Me
if he
too.
legit did give you 6 months, and you may have been, able to actually do something.
He hit him with the Naruto. Oh, bro. I got a story.
I've been sitting here
Mm.
racking my brain for a story, and I'm
I'm
like,
trying to see if I got one.
I don't think I've had one that's like ruined my life really,
It don't gotta be
or like,
ruined, but you know.
or like made things so bad that like it kind of got me off course. Like I've had some trying times, but it wasn't necessarily due to escapism, I would say.
Got you.
I don't know.
Mm.
I can
I
add
guess
to mine. Mine
sex.
got me on
I
men.
was about to say the same thing, India. I was about to say the same thing, sex. Because
I think I've definitely.
when I was growing up, my mama and my aunt used to talk about like sex in front of me. And I'm not talking about like this is like I'm talking about full-blown stories about the stuff that they did with certain people and like how it was. And they used to make it sound so exciting. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, like I can't wait till I have sex. Like I can't wait. Like it's gonna be fun, whatever. Like and my mama had already told me, wait until you at least wait until you turn 18 to do it. And she gave me a goal, and I was holding on to that goal. And I'm like, bro, when I turn 18, it's gonna be on. Like this gonna be fun. I'm gonna finally get to experience it. And that junk happened, and it happened again, and it happened again. And it wasn't nothing like they said. I was so disappointed, bro. I was like, what? And then I realized that because I used to think that guys were experienced, especially guys that I would hear had sex with a bunch of girls. So I used to think they know what they doing. Like they gotta know what they doing because they having sex. And I learned that that's not true. Like
Absolutely
at
not.
all. Like not true. So that from that experience, it made me be like, it made me more of a dominant person when it comes to sex, because I felt like if I want to have a good time, if I want to have good sex, I got to be the one that's doing this, that. So I got to be the pleaser in a relationship if I really want to enjoy it. So I feel like it kind of like influenced me to be like that when it comes to it, and also to think that people really don't know how to have sex. Because I feel like people be talking, but they don't be knowing what they talking about. And they think just because they do it a lot, that means that they know how to do it. But yeah, I was highly disappointed. Highly. To the point that like even when I started having good experiences with somebody that I was sexually compatible with, which is important, which is something that people don't really talk about a whole lot. It's a compatibility type thing. And plus you have to listen to the person that you with. You have to be willing to please them in the way that they want to be pleased. It's okay to have your boundaries and stuff, but you know what I mean? But I finally had sex with somebody and it was a good experience. And then like after like the third time, I was bored. I was like, okay, you know, this is sex. This is what it is. I thought it was gonna be lit. So because of that, because it just was so underwhelming to me, I don't really care to do it. And this sounds crazy because I always say that I'm a sexual person. I have a high sexual appetite, and I do. I just don't care to do it because I understand that it's probably not going to go the way that I expected. And I also understand that there are a lot of components that go into making it good. It's a lot of things. It's not just two people that are attracted to each other. They come together and have sex. It's a lot of things that goes into it. So if those things are not present for me, I'm not gonna do it because why waste my time?
Yeah.
I feel like this would have been a great conversation for those that topic of porn and how it affects sex.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a huge thing for when you watch porn, you're watching a performance,
It's a performance.
not realizing a lot of people for some reason don't realize it's a performance and expect that to go into the real world. And then when it doesn't happen, they're severely disappointed.
Right.
And then that's what makes them go from person to person looking for something that they probably will never find. And if they do find it, they're not going to like the fact that it's probably fake.
Yeah, a lot of people expect that they expect everybody to perform like porn stars. Especially men, I'll say they expect women to be like that, like happy, readily wanting to do all of the things that they want them to do. Like, and I feel like women have the expectation for men to have the equipment like porn stars. They expect big penises and you know all the time. And that's not realistic because it's a lot of people that's just average and ain't nothing wrong with that, by the way. I don't think so anyway. There might be some people that disagree.
Oh man.
But I do think that porn do be setting people up to think that that's how it's gonna go. Like, you know how many people are so disconnected with their sexuality, with their bodies because they were they were uh they were told not to be sexual their whole lives, and then when they become adults they're expected to be sexual and to like perform like a porno when you've been being shamed about your body your whole life, especially women. When you And then a lot of times they don't even be you, like you have boys that are looking at you, they shaming you for it. Why you dress like that in front of them? You need to stop doing this, you fast or whatever. And it's like, bro, I don't even like these niggas. They looking at me, I don't even like these niggas. Why am I in trouble?
I absolutely can't stand that way of thinking when somebody says, "Oh, don't wear that." Like, why?
Yeah.
Why though? Why she can't wear what she want to wear?
And I hate that it's always girl. Like I hate the term fast. Like she's being
I
fast.
hate it. I hate that too.
Why is that? Why is it never on the guy for how
Right.
he's deciding to pursue and what she's wearing? Like, why can't she just be comfortable in her body and like she might like wearing a crop top. She might like having her booty
Right.
out, and that should be okay.
Right, because
Because
that
for
it,
centuries we've been taught that it's run by men who control the world, and it wasn't until recently that women had a say so in how the world goes in their own private lives. So now we're having to deconstruct it in our own generations, which is going to be difficult in
it ain't
itself
going
because,
well. It's not going
you're
well.
right, it's
Ooh,
not
really?
going well at all because you have women who want to uphold that. You have men who definitely want to uphold that. And it's like it's not gonna go well. We're gonna be considered the hippies of this generation because we accept things as they are and let people be instead of forcing them to do what other people want
Right.
them to do.
You try to deal with people like that have those arguments or whatever. They'd be like, "Well, would you want your woman wearing anything? Would you let your woman?" Uh,
Like, what is wrong with you?
there's a Roland Martin interview that was on Vlad, and that's one of the things he said. My woman is not gonna let me do anything. I don't have to ask for permission to do anything. She doesn't.
Exactly.
She's grown. She can wear whatever she wants to wear. Like,
Right. And why is that so hard? It's like you represent me when you go outside, so you should want me to look good. What you mean? I'm not
Exactly.
covering my body up.
I will full blown push my husband out there to be like, hey, you can put this on. Like, I swear to God, I be coming up with so many ideas that he, of course, does not be going along with. I be like, you can make a calendar. You can have the apron on. You can do this. You can do a bow tie with some. I swear to God, I be pushing so much shit on him. Like, look, if you want to do it, do it. I don't care. Just
Right.
be happy, be confident, whatever it takes, go.
And it's weird because when it comes to, like I said, with men, they expect you to be like freaky virgins. Like they want women who don't have sex with a lot of men, but freaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
it's
that
like
makes no sense. If
that's the
you
oxymoron.
it makes no sense at all. And if all of us are abstaining from sex, who are y'all having sex with? Who
Each
y'all having sex
other, but
with?
they're not gonna say.
If everybody's supposed to be a virgin, all the women supposed to be virgins, who y'all having sex with?
Right.
They homeboy down the road that they be playing PS5
is,
with.
is there something y'all want to tell us? Bro, not the PS5. Bro, that remind me of that thing that I sent you. I think I sent both of y'all where the boy was like the time he got caught giving head to
That was hilarious.
that
That
joke
was
was so
so
funny.
funny.
They be out
Bro.
here having full blown Black Mirror episodes in their own lives. Will not tell you, and it's like, bruh, if that's what you're doing, it's
Exactly.
okay. It's fine. Just don't lie
Exactly.
about it. Cause now your wife over here catching STDs and she's trying to figure out what the fuck going on, thinking it's another woman. Whole time it's your homeboy that's been in her face eating her food every other day.
Yeah.
Calling her sis. Bruh. But yeah, I like that. It just will never make sense to me. I don't get it. And then also, y'all do not have the right to be out here having sex with all these people and expecting other people not to. And you should feel the same way too, because I don't want no man who done. If that's the case, I don't want no man who been with everybody. Cause y'all know that stuff. Y'all penis don't work that long. When y'all start getting older, y'all gotta do stuff to
To,
get it hard and stuff.
to me, I had to get out
Get
of
that junk a break. Get it a break.
I had to get out of that mindset. Like, why does it matter how many people somebody slept with? It was before me.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't
I don't
care.
even want to. That's something that I don't even want to think about. And it ain't even really about the people to me. I'm gonna be thinking about, dang, he slept with 100 people. How many of them washed before they had sex? Like, how? Like, I didn't put his penis in my mouth. Like, do y'all ever sit and think about how much toilet dick y'all done had in your mouth? Like niggas that just use the bathroom and they like, do y'all ever think about that?
Don't remind me.
I just
That's
be
why when
like,
folks cheat, they have to see who they got cheated on with. Cause I swear to God,
Like,
I would have that problem. Like, say my husband cheated, and the girl like fine as fuck, clean, on her shit. I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, now it's not cool that you cheated, but I see like you did good.
I
Good
get
job.
it. I get it.
But if
Good
you
job.
over
Good
here
job.
with a booger wolf, I'm gonna be like, bro, you did not have to embarrass me like that. Now I'm sitting here like, ew, how many times did you touch her before you touched
A
me?
booger.
Oh my God, like what now? If it's anybody else, like, anybody in the past, I'm good. I don't care. That was your past. But if it's anybody like I find out you was cheating on me during our relationship, I'm probably gonna throw up if I see that they weren't even a decent human being
Mm.
with decent hygiene practices.
So those people probably they be looking good and be having all the diseases.
Booty and I
You
were
just don't
talking about
know.
hygiene the other day. The smelly. I told you about
Ooh,
smelly titty
this
girl.
buddy titty
Good
girl.
keyword. That's why I said it. She clean.
Smelly titty girl. Like how? And how you don't know that about yourself?
They right there in your face. How you not know that?
I don't know. I was so upset. I was just like, ugh.
Her breath.
He said her titties used to smell sour.
Yes.
Was she
That's what I
leaking milk and not
said.
cleaning it up?
Sourdough? I can understand like a little musty, sweaty, but sour?
It was bad. She took her shirt off, and it was time for the action, and I'm just like, uh, nah. I made an excuse to leave real fast. I was just like, I forgot I left my dog in the house with no water. I got it.
I'm sorry, but you know how people mouth be stink and somebody be like, what that is smell? Did somebody fart? That's what you should have said. What is that? Did you fart?
It was when she took off her bra too. It was just like, oops. I was just like, oh man.
Oh
Like, see,
God.
that's the stuff that I don't want to think about. So I'm not thinking about how many people somebody slept with. I'm gonna be thinking about all types of stuff. Like, I just don't even want to know. Like, I just don't. But anyway, to move on to the next segment, which is the wealthy health segment. What are some things people can do to escape their problems without putting themselves in danger? What are healthy forms of escapism?
Exercising is a big one, I think, that people forget about.
Yeah.
But it's like I always feel really good after I work out. Even if like I'm going in, I'm like, God damn it, I do not want to,
Yeah.
like, once I'm done with it, I'm like, all right, I'm glad I did it. My endorphins are pumping. Like, I feel amazing right now.
Right.
So that's a big one. And of course, stuff like you guys mentioned earlier, the reading,
Reading. Listening to music too.
yeah, listening to music, those things are very therapeutic. Like going out in nature. I personally like to do near death experience type stuff. Not where like I am definitely gonna die, but like I love where I might go like zip lining or something
Zip.
like that.
I was gonna say zip. I love zip
And
lining.
I really want to do like skydiving, and that could be a form of escapism, but that seems like so much fun to me.
I like
Just to
stuff
have,
like that too.
yeah.
I want to go skydiving, but I don't know if I can. I'm gonna try it though. If I die.
The iron and everything. Yeah. I'm probably not supposed to be doing that either.
Not if
Yeah.
I die.
I mean, I went out with a bang. I always be telling my mama I would rather die and have the newspaper be like, "Lady dies skydiving. She has a heart attack in the air." I would rather it be that than she died from sickle cell complications or something. That's boring.
Went out with a bang.
Uh,
But go ahead, Ryan.
something we can do, people can do that is healthy, a form of escapism is writing.
Yeah.
Like use it to take you somewhere else. Because when I'm writing, I'm somewhere else. I'm not on Earth anymore. I'm
Right.
in the world that I'm writing about. So
I love it. My favorite form. Dancing is one that's on here. Meditating, gardening. Gardening definitely is therapeutic too.
Go
Um,
out into nature, period.
yeah, it's therapeutic because it's like it's I don't know, it's like you got that connection with nature, and it kind of makes
Take
you
your shoes off.
feel it makes you feel comfortable. What you say? Take your shoes off.
Yep, take your shoes off
Yeah,
when you go outside.
Touch
be one
grass.
with nature. Not to sound like a hippie, but be one with nature. That's actually a thing.
I'll be proud a proud hippie if that's the case.
But yeah, meditating, stuff like that, yoga, I feel like is amazing. Dancing, I love dancing. And I didn't know dancing could be a ritual. Like I've seen rituals like when you're banishing something where you're trying to release certain things. Dancing is it can be you can be used in a ritual. It can be used to expel like the negative energy. I think that's the right word to get it out, basically. And also uh therapy, self-care stuff, like taking care of yourself, um journaling your emotions and stuff, talking to people about even like if you're not able to go to therapy, talking to someone, finding a safe space where you can express yourself without being judged. um it's a lot of things that you could do. Um, what else? Getting to know you, self-assessment, figuring out you, going through your trauma and figuring out why you behave a certain type of way, connecting with yourself with, without the outside, you know, without the outside influences and stuff, but going into you and figuring out how to heal yourself. I feel like to me that's like one of the most important things for you to do. So whenever you have crisis or you have situations where something happens to you, um you'll know what to do to get yourself back on track. You go within, self-assessment and self-healing.
I think religion can be a good one, but to an extent, I think a lot of people take it overboard when they try to push their ideas onto other people, but it can be healthy for people that feel like they need some sense of community and they need some kind of guidebook and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
It,
there are people who do.
yeah, it's just when they try to push like their ideas and say like, oh, that's not the way that things are supposed to be. It's like all of this is made up anyways.
Right. It's just about what, like for instance, whenever we talk about religion, we don't have nothing against it. We just have something against people making people feel bad or like you're wrong because you don't believe this or because you don't do this or you don't do that. If that's what you need to get through life, because life is hard. I understand. If you need a religion to do that, do that.
Right.
Just understand that your way is not the only way.
Right.
There's a difference between saying this works for me and this should work for everybody. You know,
Right.
hey, this works for me. I'm able to cope this way. I go to church. I do this, and it works for me. But what works for you will not always work for everybody else. So just don't try to force your way of thinking on somebody else.
Exactly. And that's really all we ask for in this world. But people seem like it's so hard for them because it has to be one set way to do something. It's like people need that to make themselves feel good, I feel, about what they doing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which is weird
like it's
because
not
although
necessary.
they're so hard for it to be, you have to follow it like this, they don't
Right.
follow it like that.
At
So why
all.
should you force other people to follow something you yourself are not following?
Because
Yep.
baby, I tried and it drove me crazy. It ain't for me. I know it
That was
ain't for
the devil.
me. What you say, man?
I said, no, that was the devil.
It's a topic for another day too, because I don't like how y'all be doing him. I
Yeah. That
don't
reminds me
like how y'all be doing that man, bruh.
That reminds me of a Twitter post I just saw, and they were like, "It just don't sit right with me that I'm supposed to hold up. How did it go? Matter of fact, let me pull it up real quick because I saved the photo.
But that's
Okay.
like the thing that I sent you. Was that you sent me that, Royal?
Oh yeah, that video of that guy.
That guy, like he was supposed to be like a preacher or whatever, and he was like the message that Satan give me, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to lie on Satan name like that," and I was like, "Bro, I've never seen somebody apologize for blaming the devil
That
for
was so funny.
something."
That was so funny.
But the post that says Satan burning me in hell for disobeying the same God that he disobeyed just don't make sense to me.
I saw that. I saw that. It don't make sense to me either.
It-
None of it. And y'all just be and all this man did was not follow some directions and was like, no, I'm not doing that. I want to do this.
right.
And he got condemned for that. And everybody hate him for that. People have done worse things. People have killed people.
That part.
Like
But
it's
then they'll twist it and
crazy.
say, but it depends on why it happened. It's like, no, that's not what that book said.
Yeah,
That book says you did
exactly.
it, you did it.
No,
That's it.
no murder at all. But yeah, people have killed people and they walk around, they cool. Y'all listening to their music.
The
Meanwhile,
Y'all
y'all
know
over there
what
eating shrimp.
y'all
the
know where I'm
Bible
going
is
with this.
the Bible is black and white. There's no gray area at all.
Right.
This is why I go to the original and not the one they got over here in this fucked up ass country.
What's your original? You talking about Enoch?
The Enoch is a part of the
It's a
original,
part
but
of it.
I go
What
all the
original
way
you
back. The original Bible, not this one that's been revised about
where you
20,000
found it?
times. You gotta find all the books. I'm still going in.
Oh, okay. But yeah, nothing wrong with religion. It just don't make sense to me.
Are these the seven books that like am I still on here?
Yeah, we hear you. We see you.
My bad. But are those the like seven books that were missing or something like that for some years? Is that what you're talking about, Van? Or is this a whole nother thing?
I'm sorry, I heard my name. What?
Is this like I know I've heard about seven, I think there were like seven or some number of books missing from the Bible. Is that what you're talking about? Or is there like a whole nother actual Bible?
There was an actual Bible. I have not been able to find. I don't think they actually have like original unless you are in a specific country that it came from and you're able to get like a word from it. I don't know the exact details, but there was an original Bible, and then once it came, what was it? Once it came to America, or was it Europe? Either way, it got basically dismantled and stuff
Whitewashed,
taken
basically.
out, and then along with stuff taken out, they were adjusting it, rewording it as time went on, and then we ended up with the one we have today, which still I think gets revised at least
Mm-hmm.
once every few years, if not every year.
They have different editions, they translate it differently, and
Yeah,
then
it
like
started.
for different like religions, like for instance, Jehovah's Witness has their own like version of it. It's not the same.
Yeah, because some words didn't quote unquote exist in other languages. It had to be like certain letters didn't exist, so they had to switch it up to something else, and then it got switched up again, and then again, and then again, and again,
Mm.
and again.
Oh,
It started in Europe, like way back in like the first and second century. Like they started when I read that they had to vote on what books were going to go in the Bible. I was like, so who were these people that voted?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. And people hard down. God would never allow, bro.
like they
You
know
know what
better.
When I started
conversation
reading
for
the book
another
of
day.
Enoch, I was like, oh, I see why y'all took it out. It makes so
I
much more
got
sense. I
it, but
think
I
I
gotta
was in
read
like the
it.
first chapter, and I was like, oh, it already makes so much sense of why y'all took this shit.
I got it, but I gotta read it. I haven't read it yet. But yeah, don't be making sense. But moving on to the next segment, which is the what would you do segment. We don't have any questions again. But don't forget to email us at socialpsychopod@gmail.com if you have questions or if you want advice about something. We'll do our best to answer it for you. But moving on to the last segment, the Black Life segment. What is something you fear about people using harmful things for escapism? For me,
I
it's just
fear.
people dying
I
from
was just about to
drug
say that.
from stuff
Yeah.
like that. From like drugs and stuff and alcohol too. People dying from it, and I fear it getting worse and kind of like cause it just be seeming like, and I know I really and truly believe that Black people cannot go extinct. But I swear, if it's gonna be anything, to me, it just seemed like drugs and alcohol, because it just seemed like something that, and it's not just isolated to us. Like everybody uses it, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
just happening a lot. It's happening too much, and that's what I fear, that it's gonna just get worse and worse. And like I feel like, why are we so okay with it? Why are we so okay with like hearing this person overdosed off of drugs or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay. Like, why are
I,
we so cool with it?
I think because nobody knows what to do about it. Like you can tell people not to do
Yeah,
drugs and try to cut the access to drugs, but it's like people are gonna find a way to get to it some kind of way. Even if they got to go to Mexico, they're gonna get that.
yeah, that is. I feel like that drugs is like the most terrible thing that has ever happened to the Black community.
It is. It
If
is.
you look at the history before, when they had to, like in the 20s, before the drug boom hit, they had to dismantle our communities. They had to have outside help. When the crack epidemic hit, it was, you know what, I'm gonna put this in there and they're gonna destroy themselves.
Yeah, man, and it's sad to just watch it.
That's because it was okay for them to do it, but then when we started doing it, it was like, oh no, we can't be on the same level as them. We gotta fuck theirs up, and then that's how that happened. But I mean, we can all just look into that guy on TikTok that starts all his videos off with everything's racist, and you can
Yep.
see it all from there.
And I partially don't even blame people. Like this isn't to excuse drug use,
Yeah,
but it's like with the place that we live in, the state of the world, I don't really blame people for wanting to just say screw it. I'm gonna just do
yeah,
this. And
We need more
no,
people that are willing to go there and offer alternatives to doing that. Because if you don't have anything, like, start really talking about mental health in the Black community, so people don't have to go to those things, because those things are actually helping them, escape. The
yeah.
the drugs are helping them because they don't have to deal with it. But if you know there's another way, then
But once they find that other way, they're gonna capitalize on it, and then it's gonna be expensive, and then we still gonna end up right back where we
I,
started.
I feel like the thing that's missing too is community. Like I feel like we don't care about each other that much anymore.
Community and gatekeeping the right stuff. Like we have to gatekeep within our community instead of just gatekeeping to our personal intermediate friends.
Yeah. The ecosystems have to start being put into place, because it just makes me uncomfortable, because sometimes it be situations where people who have never touched drugs in their life, and then they like do it one time for whatever reason, peer pressure, whatever, they get sick and they have to get pain meds, and now they're addicted. Like it bothers me, like why isn't there, like how they be policing people with diseases, like how they police us when it comes to those medicines, Why they don't do that to everybody? Because they police us. They make us get drug tested every couple of months to make sure you not taking no other medicine. And even when you're like, even though that I take pain medicine every day, like I be seeing in my notes, heavy use of opioids, and I'm like, why you made it sound like that? As if like I'm doing this and I don't need it or something.
Right.
Like this is what you gave me to deal with my problem. Why is the responsibility never on y'all? Like this is what y'all give us. But they make us seem like we're the ones with like a problem. Like, what you mean heavy opioid, bro? I'll take it every day because I got to. Give me another alternative. I ask for one all the time, and they like, all we can say is stay on top of your medicine, stay hydrated, get rest.
Because they don't want to do the research it would take to go into a natural alternative, and then they know once they do, they're gonna have to find a whole nother way to get it to where they can only make money off of it and make it super expensive. Like every
so
single
annoying.
thing we actually would have an
Capitalism.
answer for is gonna start the same cycle back over again. Like who is it that said they didn't want to work, they just want to like go back to trading? And I was like, yeah, and it's gonna go right back to where we are right now because somebody is gonna have something that you can't make,
bro.
and they're gonna have to have a demand, and then they're gonna have to have like prices increase, and then people are gonna get lazy because they'd rather just go over here and buy it than have to go somewhere else to get it made and wait for that time frame. It's going to be a never-ending cycle. It's going to go right back as it was before.
Yeah.
There was a meme I saw. It was like, remember, guys, a patient cured is a customer lost.
I mean, that's true.
Yep.
That's why when they be like, why you don't get cured for sickle cell? You get it cured. You get it. My care is death. I don't believe none of that stuff they be talking about. You go do that.
And that's why I specifically try to go, well, first off, before I even go to a doctor, I try to go the natural route.
Right.
But I do go to a doctor. I always go to DOs now because the MDs I've noticed they just treat like that one symptom, whereas the DO will look at you holistically and kind of take your whole body into consideration, do this whole overview, and really get to know you and what your lifestyle is like so they can give a better diagnosis. They're not just like pushing pills off on you or whatever.
Right. Because it is, like you said, they get to know you specifically. And I feel like a lot of the times they give one size fit all solutions to problems, and all of us don't have the same DNA. Like certain things affect certain people differently.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't care. Like I've been saying, those studies, and they be like 80% of people responded this way the whole time. It's just one person in the study.
A white man.
Right.
They said that they didn't do a lot of studies when it came to like medicine and stuff like that on women because our hormones got in the way too much, and they didn't feel like doing the work to work with women's bodies. So everything that we have now basically is just based off white men.
Yeah.
This system is trash, but don't nobody want to dismantle it for real. But so whatever. If there's nothing else that anybody has to add, this ends the episode. Thank you guys for coming on this platform and expressing your opinions with me. Thanks to everybody for watching. And we'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.